James had done everything right. At least, that's what he thought. He went to school, got good grades, and followed the plan laid out for him. His parents always told him that if he worked hard, got a degree, and landed a secure job, he would be set for life. And for a while, it seemed to be true. He graduated, got a decent job in a corporate office, and started earning a steady paycheck. But something felt off. Every month, despite his best efforts, his paycheck barely stretched far enough. Rent, bills, student loans, car payments, it all added up so fast. No matter how many promotions he chased, his expenses grew just as quickly. It was like running on a treadmill, never getting any closer to the finish line. One day, while sitting in traffic on his way to work, James had a realization. He was stuck in the rat race, the endless cycle of working to pay bills, taking on more debt, and waiting for the next paycheck. It hit him that despite all the years of education, no one had ever taught him about money. Sure, he knew how to budget and save, but the bigger picture? The true path to financial freedom? That was never part of the lesson plan. Determined to change his future, James started digging into how the wealthy operated. What did they do differently? What did they know that the average person didn't? The first thing that shocked him was the simple fact that most millionaires didn't rely on a paycheck. Unlike James, they weren't trading time for money. Instead, they made their money work for them. They built assets, investments that generated income even when they weren't working. James realized that his job, no matter how high-paying, would always keep him trapped unless he started thinking differently. The next wake-up call came when James looked at his savings account. He had been told his whole life that saving money was the key to security. But when he calculated the effect of inflation, he saw the harsh truth. His money was losing value every year. While he was earning minimal interest from his bank, prices of everything around him were rising. The wealthy, on the other hand, didn't just save, they invested. They put their money in stocks, real estate, and businesses that grew over time. The concept was simple. While James was working for money, the rich made money work for them. As he kept researching, another harsh reality became clear. Taxes were eating away at his income more than he realized. Every paycheck, a huge portion was taken before he even saw it. Meanwhile, the wealthy played by a different set of rules. They used tax breaks, deductions, and business structures to legally keep more of their money. They understood something school never taught. Earning money is one thing, but keeping it is another. The system was designed to keep employees like James paying the highest taxes while rewarding business owners and investors. Then came debt. James always believed that debt was something to avoid. Yet here he was, carrying student loans, a car payment, and credit card balances. Society told him that this was normal, just a part of life. But as he studied how the rich handled debt, he realized they played a different game. Instead of taking on debt to buy liabilities, things that cost money, they used debt to acquire assets. They borrowed money to invest in real estate, start businesses, and buy income-generating assets. Instead of letting debt control them, they controlled debt to build wealth. One evening, James sat down and mapped out his financial future. He knew that staying on his current path would never lead to true freedom. Something had to change. The first step? Cutting unnecessary expenses. He realized how much of his income was disappearing into things that didn't bring long-term value. Expensive car payments, impulse purchases, subscriptions he never used. By reducing these, he could free up money to start investing. Next, he looked for ways to increase his income. He knew a single paycheck would never make him rich, so he explored side hustles, freelancing, and online businesses. It wasn't about quitting his job immediately, but about creating multiple streams of income so that he wasn't fully dependent on one source. As he began investing in stocks and rental properties, something incredible happened. His money started growing on its own. The passive income he once thought was impossible became real. And as it grew, he realized that escaping the rat race wasn't about hitting some magic number in a bank account. It was about having enough income from assets that he no longer needed a paycheck to survive. If this is making you think differently about money, subscribe to Finance Family and start your journey toward financial freedom. But James wasn't done yet. James knew that escaping the rat race wasn't just about making more money. It was about shifting his entire mindset. For years, he had been conditioned to believe that security came from a stable job and a steady paycheck. But the more he learned, the more he realized that real security came from financial independence, the ability to live life on his own terms, without relying on an employer. One of the biggest changes James made was surrounding himself with the right people. He noticed that most of his friends and colleagues had the same financial struggles he did. They worked hard, spent their paychecks, and waited for the next one. But when he started networking with entrepreneurs, investors, and financially successful people, he saw a completely different way of thinking. They weren't focused on job security. They were focused on wealth-building strategies. James also realized the power of education, real financial education, not just what was taught in school. He started reading books on investing, business, and personal finance. He listened to podcasts, attended seminars, and sought out mentors who had already achieved financial freedom. The more he learned, the more he understood that wealth wasn't about luck. It was about knowledge and action. One of the most powerful lessons James discovered was the importance of ownership. For years, he had been renting his apartment, leasing his car, and working for someone else's company. He was spending his life paying for things he would never truly own. Meanwhile, wealthy individuals owned assets that grew in value: real estate, stocks, businesses. James made it his mission to start acquiring assets instead of just paying for liabilities. He also learned the importance of long-term thinking. Most people, including his younger self, made financial decisions based on the short term, getting a paycheck, paying bills, and hoping to have some money left over. But true wealth was built with a long-term vision. He saw how the wealthy played the game differently. They weren't chasing quick money. They were planting seeds that would grow over time. As James continued making changes, something incredible happened. His stress levels dropped. The financial anxiety that had once consumed him started to fade. He no longer worried about losing his job because he had built multiple streams of income. He no longer feared unexpected expenses because he had savings and investments working for him. One day, James looked at his financial situation and realized he had reached a turning point. He wasn't rich yet, but he was free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. His passive income was covering more and more of his expenses, and for the first time, he felt like he was in control of his future. James's journey wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. But by unlearning the myths he was taught in school and replacing them with real financial knowledge, he transformed his life. And the truth is, anyone can do the same. If you've ever felt stuck in the rat race, wondering if there's a way out, there is. It starts with educating yourself, making smarter financial choices, and taking action. The system isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to keep you working. But if you break free from the traditional way of thinking, you can take control of your financial future. If this message resonated with you, like the video, leave a comment below, and share your thoughts. Let's break free together.